Hello everyone, good evening and welcome back to our Python live class. It's been a long time and a while, and I'm super excited to be back with all of you. Hello everyone, welcome back to today's live session, and today's live session is based on reduce functions in Python. I hope all of you are doing well and practicing Python. Hello. So today we are going to learn something very important for data processing, competitive programming and functional programming in Python. Hi, which is the reduce function. So sit tight, take notes, and by the end of the session you will be able to apply reduce function confidently in real coding problems. Okay, surely we'll explain all the functions, but today's class is based on reduce functions, so we'll learn reduce function, and definitely we'll have a next class on lambda, map and filter functions also. Hi, good evening. I hope all of you are practicing Python very well. Okay, so be aware in today's class. Firstly, we'll complete the theory session, means I'll explain you what are reduce function, how it works, what are the importance and advantages of reduce functions, and then we'll move to the quiz session in which simply you have to answer in yes or no, and then definitely we'll move to some of the simple and easy. With simple example we'll move to the intermediate and difficult one also. Hello. So we'll start today's class. So firstly I'll tell you what is reduce function in Python. Okay, so reduce is a higher order function used to apply a function to a sequence and reduce it to a single value. So as it is, by the name it is very clear. So it reduces a sequence to a single value. It repeatedly applies a function into elements of an iterable and produces one final output. So basically we use reduce function when we are doing sum of values and product of values, means we do kind of sequence work together to form one thing. Then we use reduce function, joining strings, cumulative operations. So I'll definitely tell you in detail what are reduce functions so that you can understand it very easily. What happened to the screen? Can you define? Okay, so the reduce function in Python is a powerful tool from the function tool module that allows us to apply a function commutatively to the elements of an iterable, ultimately reducing the iterable into a single final value. In simple terms, it repeatedly applies a function to a running result and the next element in the sequence. So I'll tell you the syntax of reduce function so that it would be more easy for you all. Okay, so this is the simple syntax of reduce function. Function, which is the logic to apply. Iterable means list, tuple and etc. And initializer is optional sometime, which is the starting value. So it may be optional also. Okay, so now I'll tell you the advantages and importance of reduce function. Okay, so firstly, it reduces multiple values into one single output, and secondly, it helps in data aggregation and mathematical operations. So basically and morely we use reduce function in mathematical operations. Code becomes short, clean and elegant. This also is very important point. It avoids writing manual loops. We don't have to write loops all the time. It works great with lambda expression, which definitely we'll cover in another class also. It is useful in functional programming. Sure, I'll explain the syntax again. It is very useful in functional programming style. It improves performance in large data operations. Basically, it is less overhead than loops in some cases. It is used in data science, AI pipelines and big data. It is best for cumulative logic, which is sum, product, minimum and maximum to find. These are basic topics. It helps build compact one-liner solutions. It shows advanced Python knowledge useful in coding interviews, and it can be combined with map and filter function for powerful data workflows. We'll cover all these topics also. So okay, I'll tell you the syntax again. See, its syntax is here. This is the syntax of reduce function. So here the function is the thing where we apply the logic, and iterable is the thing which is sometimes list, tuple and anything else, and this initializer is optional sometimes. It is the starting value, so it can be optional also. So did you understood the syntax of reduce function? And you'll more understand when we'll work with examples, so it would be more easy for you to understand at that time. Okay, now I'll tell you when to use reduce function mostly. Okay, so basically we use reduce function at that time when you want to compress data, when a single output is needed from multiple values. If simply when we have to add a lot of values, means there are a lot of options and we just need a single value, at that time we use reduce function. And reduce function also works great with lambda and functional programming styles. So always keep this thing in mind, that use reduce when logic is mathematical or accumulative. So reduce function works great with mathematical logics also. And also do not use reduce when the logic is too complex. and when the logic is too complex, you can use loops instead of reduce function. And now I'll tell you why reduce is important. So are you understanding the concept of reduce function or not? Tell me that first. Okay, so why we use reduce function? It makes code clean and short. It is mostly used in AI and data science pipelines. Good. Competitive programming, functional programming, and map, reduce, and big data concepts, we use reduce function. Okay, so now we'll move to the quiz session. So basically I'll ask you some question and you only have to answer in yes or no in the chat. So show me your activeness so that I can understand that you are understanding the concept and you are totally active in today's class. Okay, so the first question for today is, reduce function is used to return a single output value. So this is the first question of today, that reduce function is used to return a single output value. If you have listened the theory part, you can definitely answer this very easily. You can answer this. Okay, so some of you are answering in yes. Okay, so let me tell you the correct answer. So as I've already told you, the correct answer is yes, and those who have answered in yes, you are definitely right. Your answer is correct. Okay, now we'll move on to the second quiz, which is, reduce function is built in Python 3 by default. Okay, so the third question is, reduce function is built in Python 3 by default. You have to only answer in yes or no in the chats. This is also a very simple and easy question. You only have to answer in yes or no in the chats. Okay, so what would be the correct answer of this? Reduce function is built in Python 3 by default. What do you think? Is it correct or not? Okay, so some of you are answering no. So let's see what is the correct answer of this. So the correct answer of this is no. So those who have answered in no, you are definitely correct that reduce function is not built in Python 3 by default. Okay, now moving on to the third question. This is also I told you in the theory part. Reduce function always needs an initializer. Reduce function always needs an initializer. So what would be the correct answer of this? You have to answer in yes or no in the chats. Reduce function always needs an initializer. Okay, so you are saying it's optional. Yeah, definitely I told you in the theory part that it is optional. So let's know what is the correct answer of this. So the correct answer of this is no. Reduce function is optional. So we not always need this. Okay, so the fourth question for today is reduce function can work with strings. So the fourth question is reduce function can work with strings. What is the correct answer of this? Yes or no? Okay, so you are saying no. So some of you are answering yes and some of you are answering in no. Okay, so the correct answer for this is yes, we can reduce strings like when we do string concatenation, then we can use reduce function in strings also. So the next question is lambda is mandatory for reduce function. Lambda is mandatory for reduce function. Okay, so you are saying no. Okay, so the correct answer of this is no. You can use normal functions also with reduce. So this was our code quiz session, and now we'll move on to the code examples. Okay, so I'll tell you how we'll use the reduce function, and you have to answer the output. Okay, so this is a simple example using reduce function. Now you have to answer its output in the chat. I think this is very simple and easy. Firstly, you could answer, and then I'll explain the code to you if you didn't understood this. Okay, so I'll also explain this. So firstly, we import the reduce function because it is not built in into Python by default. Then we create a list of numbers, and then we use reduce function to add all the three numbers together, lambda a, b, and then a plus b. It is a small function that adds two values, and then we prints the final output. So now you have to tell what is the output of this code. Okay, so some of you are answering. I think everyone should be available so that you can answer and you can learn Python well. Okay, I already explained once, but I can explain once again. So here what we do is we import reduce function because it is not built in into Python by default, and then here we create a list of numbers. Here we have taken 1 2 3 4 and 5, and then we use reduce function to add all the numbers together, and at last we print the result. So now let's see what output does it gives. So yeah, those who have answered 15, it is correct. It adds all the elements of the list. So 15 is the correct answer. Okay, so similarly now we'll move on to another question. Okay, so now this is the second question and you have to answer its output in the chat. This is also very basic and very simple, easy question. So I think you all can answer this. Okay, so only some of you are answering. This is a very simple and easy question. You all can answer this easily. Okay, so now we'll see what is the correct answer of this. Okay, so the correct answer of this, okay, we are having some issue in this. Let's solve this. Okay, so the correct answer of this is 24, and let me explain you how. So the reduce function multiplies the numbers one by one here, And firstly, as I told before, it is not in default, so we import that reduce function. Then here we have created a list where we have kept the numbers to multiply, and then here using lambda functions we are multiplying all the numbers and we are finally printing the product. Okay, now moving on to the next question. Okay, nothing happens when we use reduce function without lambda. As I already told you, we can use normally also, and we can also use lambda functions with reduce functions also. Both works the same. Okay, now you have to answer its output in the chat. This is also a simple and easy question, so you can answer this. Okay, so in this code what we are doing is we are just finding the maximum value. So let's see the output of this. Okay, so the maximum value in the list is 67, so it printed 67. So some of you are asking what happens when we use reduce function without lambda. So I'll tell you one example that how without lambda function we'll use reduce. Okay, so this is the simple example how we use reduce function without lambda. So now you have to answer its output in the chart. Okay, so you have answered correctly. Let's see its output. And yeah, 6 is the correct output. So this is how we use reduce function without lambda. Okay, so today we learned what reduce function is, why it is useful, how to import it, and where to apply it. We have also done some practical example like sum product max and lambda usage also. So this is very powerful concept in Python and it is used everywhere from coding interviews to data processing also. So what we learned today is reduce function, it converts multiple values to one value. It works best with simple mathematical logic and it comes from function tools. So if you have any doubt related to today's class, you can definitely ask me so that we can clear it right now and we don't have any doubt in our mind so that we can practice reduce function very well. Okay, so thank you so much. Okay, so if you want some advanced problem, okay, so now we'll see one string example. And we'll concatenate the string using reduce function. Okay, so this is a simple example. Simple yet very powerful and nice to concatenate the string. So what do you think this would be the answer? Okay, so what would be the answer of this? Okay, so let's see the output of this. Okay, so it concatenated the string. Yes. So today we learned the concept of reduce function, which was easy, and I hope all of you understood it. So thank you so much for attending the session today, and I hope you enjoyed and learned a lot. And after a long time, I think we have connected and this live class is scheduled. So keep practicing, stay motivated, and we'll meet in the next class. So thank you everyone. Bye bye.